Welcome to stage 4, Verbville. So first of all, defining a verb. What is a verb? Well, it's an action word, right? A word that expresses an action. Pretty simple. But just like noun town has its own language, words like case and declension and nominative and accusative, verbs also have a few other characteristics that we should define, besides, of course, just simply what a verb is. So when we're talking about verbs in English or Latin or any language, all verbs have these three characteristics, among others: person, number, and tense. So let's break apart each one, because I'm going to be using these terms in class quite a bit, and you need to know what they are. So what is meant by person? Well, a person is simply who's doing the action of the verb. And we break it up into three persons. You've got first person, and that would be I or we. Second person is you or y'all. And third person is he, she, it, or they. Okay, so we've covered person. Now, what do we mean by number? Number means singular versus plural, whether or not one person is doing the action or more than one. And then our third characteristic we're going to talk about right now with verbs deals with tense. Well, a verb's tense tells you when the action takes place. By the way, tense comes from that Latin word tempus, which means time, as in the phrase tempus fugit, time flies. Now, there are many tenses in English, like present, future. We say past tense, but we really have to break that apart into like past and past perfect and whatnot. Latin has 6 verb tenses, but right now we're only going to focus on the present tense. In stage 6, we'll learn 2 additional verb tenses, but stay tuned for that later. So putting that all together, when we're talking about the present tense, if we say first a verb is in the first person singular, that means that the subject is I, and then whatever the verb means, right? Second person singular, you verb. Third person singular, he, she, it verbs. And then, of course, we verb, y'all verb, they verb, etc. Okay, so now that we've defined our terms, how in the world are you going to recognize whether or not I would be the subject, or you, or he, she, it, we, y'all, or they in a Latin sentence? So far, every single sentence that you've read, the subject has been a he, she, or it. I don't know if you noticed that. But starting with stage 4, you're going to see these others: I, you, we, y'all, they. So Latin, remember, is an inflected language, meaning that it changes its endings, the endings of words, to show different things. So, of course, the ending of a verb is going to change to show who the person is and whether the number is singular or plural, and also what tense it is. So what are the present tense verb endings? Here they are. First person singular is O, second singular S, third singular T. First plural mus, second plural tis, and third plural inti. Okay, so if we, of course, you know I have a song for this, and I'm going to sing that a little bit later, but if we put that all together, let's take that verb portat. That's how you learned it in your book, right? Portat means carries, but literally it means, because it ends in a T, it means he, she, or it carries. Porto would be I carry, portas, you carry, portat, he, she, it carries, portamus, we carry, portatus, y'all carry, and portant, they carry. Let's take a look at some others, translation-wise. So, how about sedeo? Ends in an O. Subject is, look back at what you just took. That would be I. So I sit. Coquit ends in a T. That would be he, she, or it. Cooks. Quairo ends in an O. That means I am searching for. Laudas ends in an S. Therefore, that would be you are praising, or you praise. Dormimus, well, ends in mus, M-U-S, which means we, so we are sleeping. Gustat, now here's the thing, it does end in the letter T, and I think a lot of you will look at that and say, oh, well, the subject has to be he, she, or it, right? Well, you have to look at the entire ending. It's actually N-T, so gustat would be they taste. Saluto ends in an O. Subject would be I am greeting. Redis S, you are returning. Laborat ends in a T. You learned laborat means to work, but now you know laborat literally means he, she, or it is working. Just a few more here. Vides ends in an S. That means you are seeing. Inquit ends in a T, means he, she, or it says. Habemus, M-U-S. Mus means we, so we have. Clamatis, you know clamat means to shout, but now you've got T-I-S. Now, don't be fooled just because it ends in S. You might think it's you singular, but T-I-S is second person plural. You have to look at the whole ending there, so that would be y'all. Y'all are shouting. Exit, well, you got the T, that means he, she, it is leaving or going out. Portatis, there's that tis again. Y'all are carrying, or y'all carry. Circumspecto, O means I am looking around. Expectas ends in just the letter S, you are waiting for. And respondent, NT. NT means they, so that means they are replying or responding. So, here's the song. Some of you probably watched Mickey Mouse Clubhouse when you were a kid. They changed the song when you guys were kids, so you know a slightly different song. But the song that I learned growing up was M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And so, here we have our verb endings. And there's the tense down there at the bottom. And here is what each letter means. So it goes, O means I, S means you, T means he, she, it. Moose means we, tis means y'all, and T means they. Present tense, present tense. You have to say it like that or I'll get mad at you. All right, we'll practice that in class. So this describes the endings for those 99% of verbs in Latin, which are action verbs. But what about that pesky linking verb? You know it's irregular in every single language. And so here are the forms of that verb est. So you have sum, which means I am. Es, you are. Est is he, she, or it is. And of course, that's how you've seen it so far. Sumus, we are. Estis, y'all are. And sunt, they are. Now, except for the first person singular ending where you have the letter M, everywhere else, you still have S means you, T means he, she, it, moose means we, tis means y'all, and T means they. So in some ways, even this irregular verb kind of follows the regular present tense pattern. There is a song for this. It's really long and complicated, and it involves me showing you a YouTube video about a strange song that is about a cable car in Pompeii. So we'll just practice that one in class. So there it is. I'll see you soon.